TV and ATV, Amansan Television in Ghana. And then you be dear Bobo Bebre. A chief for your chiacham, you be dear Bobo Bebre about child protection matters in Ghana. Neneno, you be kasa and Oma about sexual exploitation of children. Sa and Omu Komu, Obi Okrana. Yes, we are covering them, and I worry man. You work colana, yes, Nedia. Oh, and this some man, you did the Hua Bobo Bebre. Now, the problem of child abuse, you know, a widespread not only in Ghana but in the whole Africa. Now, despite government efforts, you know, it seems like say it's going up and up, you know, up and up. Now, Ghana, so according to research, actually say, the center point or the major source of transit point and destination point for child trafficking and variety of child slavery. Inti you could not crown as a bassa. Inti na ama programs like this. Say a bit in the area Sano Manoma in any address. The next one, Sheikh Ishak Ibrahim Niama with us. Or online. Sheikh Islamic scholar. Now no, we a regular host and presenter. Inti Sheikh, are you there? Can you hear us, Sheikh? I think the Sheikh will be with us at some point. And I feel so no. Normally, Sheikh was in the program, no, a social program on Metro TV. And now your barrister Linda so with us. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you.
Now, Linda, as I legal hour program, Omega Live TV. Now, I feel so no, it's on Sky 182. I'm sure regularly. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
And your Madam Beatrice Asante. Beatrice is so a NDC chairperson for North London UK branch.
Yes.
Now, Osaye program on Omega Live TV, Young and Prolific.
Yes.
I know so program, so I upgraded to 182 ever call me.
Thank you.
Thank you. And your Mr. Victor Nunu for the first time with us.
Yes.
Mr. Nunu, executive director for Progressive People Party, UK and Ireland. Mr. Nunu, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Your first time you're home.
Of course, but I've been watching you on YouTube a couple of times. But
okay.
I'm happy to be here. Just let you know, my tree is not very good.
Okay.
So I'll be flowing in English.
Maybe the tree in bar now the English never bar. But Ghana for the tree to make a kakano kabia for.
I can understand everything, but I cannot. I'm not fluent.
And I know so much. Hey, almost a yard of food. It's the almost there. I say, Yamachino. I can't be a cabby or Matiasia.
I'll keep it to the basics.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And yes, sir. You're lucky enough to have Mr. Joseph Kwanzaa. Ghana Social Workers Union President. After so no, Mr. Joseph Kwanzaa, any PhD, I made Jaya no one come was him. We patch with my area now, PhD no.
PhD no yeah, kinship care. Kinship care no yeah. Say one more, I'm getting more fan of one and Colana or my meaning. It's a hano, or my young man, I come up, a band of wild more show.
Thank you.
In the research, you know, if you share some of the yes, you bit now a two or a bind of the several bit my boy or my two of them. This I back at Kano. To be a new of you will be back here now. Nan Colano ever cost sweetie so. Anything I'm near Bram, yes,
Ghana, so that was it. Say we are, would you call Ghana? Like I said, what do you call by on my Ghana? You crew on my. And I feel so no. You were Mr. Godfred Ban Jesse, or a head of Department of Social Welfare, our Municipal Assembly. Godfred, you too can. Okay. And at some point, so okay. At some point, so Joyce Collabo so by joining, honestly, a Secretary General, Ghana Social Workers Association or Ghana, and Mr. Paul Seme, honestly, a founder and director of Street Children Empowerment. But me give you Sheikh, welcome. Can you hear Sheikh? What you can? I think the background is okay. And then you have a share program. Now say Nanka at some point no so no Sheikh is on your technical program but at some point maybe Linda will be putting on mute until maybe he sort out the technical program problem then join us later. At some point no so no last week during the program no something interesting happened. Mr. Joseph Kwanzaa mentioned about one lady we are now experiencing problems. Now hospital Ekipuno comfort Anoche Hospital Kumasi. Now during the program you know we have to say thank you, a big thank you to Mr. Kwame Boateng, or who is the national organizer for MPP. Okutia 500 Ghana. MIA releasee lady no from the hospital. Some will say discharge from the hospital.
Okay.
But the reason why the word release is used, and they said, she was kept out of the will.
Yes.
No this car or the betria, no the baby. We a kipuno, intineno, yabaka ho asem so. Kakra. I mean, say at some point obeba. Na ya kan ho asem. Sheikh, since I Sheikh in your experiencing difficulties, technical difficulties, Mr. Joseph Kwanzaa, so now we PhD into they say average year, you know, chance here. Yeah, they were chance here. What some reports I guess say sexual abuse of children is on the rise in our country, Ghana. And the question is how much what is going on about the growing impact of sexual abuse within different cultural groups. Is this what is happening? Who knowledge about it? You better say at least we need some form of say understanding. We say is this something that is happening with what is there? Sexual abuse. You were different cultures within different cultures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think sexual abuse, every sexual abuse.
I think say you call you call nipa call be our best friend. Sorry.
Every sexual abuse is a sexual abuse. We don't have any cultural dynamics in relation to sexual abuse. Now, it's a bit like Ghana Criminal Act. I think section 92 says only a collabia what the fear dusia. Echo and now broke and now no be so the fear dusia. Now I'm man consent without
or broke and under
or broke or free
in fear
dusia echo. What did that? That's and then amount consent. That's without the consent of this person is a form of rape. And whether it is from the which tribe in Ghana that situation happens after the form of abuse. In a bit of comparison with UK, there can be instances where people who have abused.
But wait Joseph, nipa or friend. At here for where yes or no. Your line and then your beatum say you can call in and contribute. No money is 07513 688 333. Free Ghana 0044 7513 688 333. We patch one friend not refrain. Pacho we original no okasa no.
Hello.
Oh hello.
Pacho me free Ghana.
Oh, me pacho.
Microphone muted.
Oh, okay. Your technical team may sort
it. Question no. Microphone is muted.
Okay. We don't know what is happening, but we will sort it out. Yeah, your technical team will address it. Oh, Sister Mbacho, last week, your programmer, Mr. Kwame Boateng to me contact you. Me pacho maybe our phone is we last week yeah program no it happens say wawuba na nemom no wo ye no na oni sika wodi betwia me pacho na wo free NHIS card ni bi ana na wo ni bi
me pacho me wo bi na ye ni CS
usi wo bi na ye den
ye me CS operation
Caesarean.
Oh yeah cesarean okay enti sesi a tiefo be so mo hu se edi enti na wo ko wo ya ye keep wo hospital ho
pacho na mi yes care chia me hospital bills
okay now wo da for how long
pacho 2 weeks
na ye ji wo to wo sana say na ya wo mo ka kire mo
pacho this is chia sana ye
na say eno nipa ni miska na so won pia sana ye no na enti na wo da for how long
2 weeks.
pacho 2 weeks
wo da for 2 weeks na omoma wa biane during that time na so omoma wa biane
pacho daddy
enti ya
na plan ye be you work free so
enti na no ba ni da form
me pacho
oh yeah sorry to hear that and I think say Uber program so say waba Omega Live TV and Amansan television na ya say Ghana these are some of the difficulties you come it because of you kra no and your topic e be discuss this no ma we answer na yakọ topic ni so because this is an emergency for us as a country na mo bia no be kasa privately so no na mo bia yeso ye betimi dia aboa no ye behwe na ya ye announcement a o mo betimi aboa no ye betimi eti sesia no wo no ba no mo wo he
pacho se no na be shi
na o ba fie no ma aha kasa
pacho be se me ye juma ye
uwu ye ya no say within 2 weeks and awo say e ko third week ni oh aha na o pese o ye adwuma na obetimi aka bibi kakra bi say wo de ye nka say bo odin minim say e bi a wo pese o bo odin ba obetimi aka bibi kakra bi say ye nyinsa ne ba ye say ma wo da hospital ni e discharge o say ya obi so a e bi a ono so no o was say situation no obehu how to prepare ena yeso no say yeso no support no etiefo omutie no omo so ye de to say ye be hia help kakra bi a omo so no behu di obetima ye obetimi aka bibi kakra ma ya wo kunu anase say obetimi de ahya ase esa misro afizo wo madada na oni ma obetimi aka
me pacho me ni ku ni obi na na wo hono so de pa no so na juma say into na komba and at the first born so sama mo tra ba me so ni flexi for someone
so this is your first child
No.
I was say in the first child and after so no when she don't worry she was in a relationship na o we en be ma ne da ho ene wo ho anase mogyan
pacho mama no ama wo ko be so ko pe juma ye se wo mention
okay
Kofi, sorry, I don't mean to cut you, but I think we were trying to get the premise of the NHIS and all those stuff. She can talk about that later, but we actually want the layout of how the hospital aspect actually works.
Yes.
Please.
Yes. It is, for example, Uko Hospital, no? Omo, na how did you get there?
pacho I walk and I'm a friend that's called hospital. Me koi na me ni amana to no. Me de koi I walk and yama me say na wo de see me to force here but na aferi e tia kan nka. Na wo se doctor no o ku chat and o san say me wo do on the satan na da man on fine. And I do koi ye it's no wo music because na ya se say you be serious.
Nti omo admit your hospital no no nti uduru no mu bisi ebusa o ska ebusa o NHIS card Decided say I see a year cesarean. So in that case, do they ask for money first or do they just go ahead with the operation? And to me operation where they build the buy now we need car. And decided say they will keep you. And you keep you, Sana. Are you free to move and ask you the chain about 9 or bedroom? Now, if someone decides to walk away, Obia or follow one people around and ask security for them, baby, or watching the panel.
Security for around.
Security for until there is no way. Do they tell people about their human rights? Say, your lawyers will hassle. People's human rights. Say, would you other security also? Now, yes, I'm with you. Until you get another this for that 2 weeks, you know. Bipacho mu bi wo question bi busa mu betime busa ansana ya ko ya shati kasa kesi restaurant
only man pacho ne me bisa say was it a private hospital or a government hospital?
Actually, government hospital.
What, the government hospital? Okay. Where? Which part of Ghana and which hospital?
That's the
Kompanoche Hospital.
Kompanoche Hospital, Kumasi, the great hospital. Kompanoche Nemo. Okay, yeah, that was his sister. Yeah, but I'm getting back to you. Why? Until you can come up the line. Yeah, that was the brave. Wait here. Lord Chief, you say you can't about the sexual exploitation, but we know emergency discussion. It seems like, do we take this as a crisis for the country and as I say?
I think last week we talked
because of the lady Nabal. That's it. A crisis for the country, Anna. What do you think? Based on what she have said.
Yeah, what kind of is a problem? Now, Oko NHS card, you know. At the end, the cover and the end cover. ABR, I was someone who said, so Oko Hospital now. I was a man who near cover and the end cover. Now, so we are work on our fair, see, we now for Stabana.
As I say, one make a good point was I see a man who said, you ever call a Nippon Niska. Or I saw, will you ever cover Prano Niska? What happened?
And I said, yeah, or very, she will make the
Obia, what canon, and I say,
or very preparation, or very preparation, said, yeah, said, make way, said, Bosnia and Bermano. So no, the Bema Binet.
When you're doing Niska, you miss Mr. Nunu because
Niska, Bema or Bema or and Bema also compare Bosnia.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't go into the tree because I don't know. That's right. We're going to talk about greater stuff here. In a progressive society like Ghana, whereby we can present $28 million into Parliament to approve for you need fund be war to cater for such eventualities. It is ironic and it is pathetic that a woman after giving birth, should go through this. And even we've spoken to her, but we haven't asked her how she's faring with the daughter.
Is the hospital acting illegally, Anna? Hospital not acting illegally by keeping the mother, by keeping the baby.
Well,
listen.
In relation to, depending on the policy and procedure of NHIS, then we will be able to.
What right? What about people's human rights? So what people know Niska, but what people know?
Why are you keeping it there? It is against the rights. It is against the rights.
I know the children's rights as well.
Listen, she is being held against her will. She is being held against her will, and that is you have a lawyer, and that is against the human right. You cannot hold me against my will. Let me go, and then you can proceed to to take action and then get the money. But you will not hold me there. That is wrong. We are the progressive society. That this shouldn't be happening.
Beatrice, what's the saying?
Well, I feel that it is against people's rights, but at the end of the day, the hospital still needs their money, and I feel the government has to make reparations or have to put some funds together.
Not giving people food to eat.
No, maybe not food. It's like they have to have extra funds whereby if the person can't pay, then they give them those monies, and then they can try and make arrangements to pay those monies.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Because now, if the reason why I say that is, I disagree that they held her there, for one, which is against human rights, and secondly,
for a baby, why can't the arrangements be made even for the baby?
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, the mom can't live without the baby. So at the end of the day, there need to be funds that are put, because if now, we always keep talking about there not being money. If now we hear that they're going to pay the president's wives, then that means there is money somewhere, because we always go on the tangent that there's no monies. But if there are monies that are being allocated, then there should be monies allocated for these medical emergencies.
Ghana, independence, 1957. 1957. Now this Comfort Hospital has been there for a long time.
Okay.
It carries a name, a strong name.
Yes.
For yes, Ghana. I think the Comfort crowd is at the area. Obisu, the spirit in Obisu. What? Where do we go from here? Say, what TPB say in terms of law, in terms of law perspective, and I said
on the legalities of it.
Yes.
There is no law that said if somebody doesn't pay a bill, that the hospital can keep that person effectively as a prisoner.
Yes.
Yeah, because they owe money. There's two things. You're either prosecuting the person under criminal law for theft or deception or fraud or something along those lines, or, as has been said already by some of the guests, you release the person and let the person then see that as a debt, so then you sue them for the money that they owe you. But you can't take the law into your own hands. Yeah, it's just like if somebody steals from you, you can't keep that person prisoner
in your own
until,
house.
indeed, or on the street or wherever,
Yes.
until that person gives you money. You cannot do it. Yeah, you have to either call the proper authorities, the police, or let them go and issue them a bill and tell them they have a debt to pay.
The whole Ghana is hospitals who are they are acting illegally.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. There's no law that allows
they're
you to
infringing
do
on
that.
their human rights,
Yeah.
innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in this country, when somebody even steals things from you and you take the person, they say there's kidnapping. So in a way, it's kidnapping and holding the person hostage. Period.
So where do we go from this NHIS issue?
It's a problem. And I think last week when we discussed, we said that this thing has been in operation. President Kufuor introduced it. Then the Atames followed, President Mahama, and now Nana Akufo-Addo. You could see that nothing is improving. So I think we have to come back to the drawing board and see where the presenting concerns are and what we can do to improve things. Because it's shocking and unheard of that you have to be kept in hospital because you have not paid your.
This needs to stop immediately.
And this is not an isolated case. It's been happening it's been happening over the years.
Yeah.
And this is not right. Listen, we must somehow get a port, I would say, where funds we're getting money from the oil. Bit of the money should go into the port to help situations like this.
Yes.
But it is disgraceful and demeaning to the woman who has given birth and then the hospital.
Nanado,
even no food.
Nanado, number one fan of Omega Live TV and now also Amansan TV. And Mama also watches regularly. And I believe that the Ghanaian leadership will be take a leave from what we are saying here. Say, this needs to go back to Parliament. And there needs to be a way forward for free NHIS.
Yes,
With immediate effect. Say, UK ha. Yes or no, program, in Ghana. If he's there, people human rights is being affected. And as Ghanaians, yes, really are appealing to them, say, in the 21st century, free situation, you go into the next level.
This is
And
not a
then what I would
situation.
like to add is, sorry,
Saying it's not a situation, it's a catastrophe.
But
it's a problem because I think the funding is crucial now. So the makers of this policy should reconsider where the funding could come from.
Yes.
So that people who are not able to pay there should be a way that they can, when they after they've got services from the hospital, they should be able to go home peacefully and then have a better.
Thank you.
The funding is a big issue, and we need to find a way.
Musa, Sheikh Miyama, are you there? Sheikh? Or is he still having technical?
I think so.
He is still having technical issues. Okay, can we speak to Mr. Godfred? Godfred, are you there? Godfred is also not there. Yeah, I think Sheikh, you are muted. So free mute. Unmute yourself. Yes. You done it now.
Yeah.
We have Sheikh Ishaq Ibrahim Niyama. Islamic scholar online. Sheikh, do you hear me? What do you mean, can? We're not sure what is happening with Sheikh's line. Okay, Sheikh, I think say you're not online, and maybe if you can call our WhatsApp line or with that number now, I think say maybe that will help. Lordship, we will go back to our topic because this is like we are in a crisis, like you said. We all agree that this woman need help. People who also are in a similar situation, we hear immediate help. Now, you go back to what you also
okay. That make answer. Rape will be a rape. Whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a fetishist, a traditionalist, it's a rape, and it's not advisable. And what I was saying is that I think, according to the Criminal Act, any person from the age of 16 upwards, and I think barrister,
as a country, what is our understanding about sexual?
Because sexual abuse is different from rape, though.
What is our understanding about sexual abuse?
That's the umbrella.
No, sexual abuse.
We have to separate.
If I cover sexual exploitation, right,
Mm-hmm.
is usually in circumstances where you're talking about somebody, a child. So let's talk about sexual exploitation.
Yeah,
where a child is being exploited for the purposes of commercial gain. So it means that prostitution, for example, or somehow handing the child over to other people and getting some sort of reward or compensation for doing that as a commercial enterprise. That's what sexual exploitation is. Sexual abuse can be part of sexual exploitation, but they're not. But sexual exploitation is not part of sexual abuse. You see what I mean? So it works one way rather
and sexual abuse is for kids that are under the age of 17 because they don't have the mindset to give consent.
That's right.
For anybody sleeping with them. Yes.
I don't even say sleeping with them.
Okay, raping them.
Yeah.
Thank you, barrister.
No problem.
But if you look at the so now our focus is sexual abuse.
Yes.
So shall we have the aspect of sexual abuse now? So we can have rape then.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Then we can have defilement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from the act, when I read from the Ghana Act, if a child, any person from 16 upwards, if you have any,
as in Ghana.
Well, for Ghana, Ghana Criminal
Act.
So any person from the age of 16 upwards, if someone has a carnal knowledge that's having a sexual relationship with a person without her consent, is deemed as what? Rape.
Yes.
And then, if the child is below the age of 16, that amounts to defilement.
That's sexual abuse.
So the abuse or exploitation, is say even crimes are allowed. Now say forced marriages, tapping of a child, a school, secondary school. One same children, maybe a senior or harassing, all those comes under it. It takes so many different forms.
So many
on internet.
But you're under the age of consent.
That's right.
Meaning, if you are in this country, it's like before you're 18. So if somebody sleeps with somebody that is no. It's kind of like you're somebody that you're under the age of 18, and even you sleep with somebody that is even 18 and person 17, you can still be charged for sexual abuse.
No, this country is 16.
Is it 16? Oh, so
Yeah.
it's gone down now.
So
Okay.
That's why even in Ghana it's 16 and upwards.
Oh, okay.
But if there is a consent, if the person gives consent, then that's not abuse.
How can a person give consent? A 16
child-
year old
No,
child.
because the
A child cannot give consent.
Yes, that's the point.
The definition is without the consent.
But there is circumstances when they can't. Even if the child says yes, that is still not
consent. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, how much do we know about the growing impact of sexual abuse in Ghana, Mr. Nuno? What do you ever say about Mr.
Okay, from what I make of the whole show, I think children are not protected in Ghana. And as much as they might be living in the same household with adults and the mothers and fathers, they are still not protected within the community. People take advantage of children, and most of what happens in our society, it happens with the knowledge. Where I say the knowledge, every child knows the abuser, and that is the crux of the matter.
100%.
They know the abuser, and it is very unfortunate that this should be happening in our society, because if we look at the statistics going from years ago, I would say from years ago, these things they've been prevalent in our society, though nothing has been recorded, and no database of those children abused or number abused. There is no data, but this happens every day, either with their knowledge, with the parents' knowledge, or without the parents' knowledge, or somebody in the society who knows what is happening but is not saying.
So what you are trying to say is that adieno is happening. Children themselves, the children who get abused,
Yes,
they know the perpetrators.
of course.
Families knows it, but
Yes.
there is this secrecy around it. But there is secrecy. Beatrice, what is your one?
Okay, with me, as I still go back to sexual abuse with children, is whereby regardless of when you say 16 and the person gives consent. And I think that's where the confusion is. The thing is, if the child is underage, by law, the child is not in the right mindset to give consent. Do you understand me? So even if the kid says, okay, I want to sleep with you, you the grown-up know by law that you'll be prosecuted regardless. Do you understand me? So at the end of the day, when we're looking back, the kids are not protected. And as Honorable Victor said, most of the kids is due to their parents being them being abused by their parents. So like, sometimes their fathers, sometimes their uncles. I know recently, I didn't even realize that women even abuse their nephews. I actually did find out that certain aunties abuse their nephews. Okay. And I remember when the boy grew, I remember I was talking to this old man and he goes, oh, I was enjoying it. He was 9 years old. Do you understand me?
He was 9.
Yes, when it happened, but now he's grown up into an adult. And it was the auntie was the mom's sister. Okay. And in his head, he felt, oh, he was enjoying at the age of 9.
And yes. Careful.
Oh, he's my son. I'm going to marry. You know, that kind of stuff. Yes. And that's the reason why when somebody, I remember my kids were younger, somebody says that I will fight with you. And it seemed as if I was being, because I had spoken to loads of guys that from the age of 10, 12, their aunties were abusing them. And sometimes we actually put the abuse just on the men's aspect as well, just only. But what I'm saying is, at the age of 16 and under, nobody can give a child can say, oh, I want to sleep with you, and then it will be the person giving consent. And that is the reason why we have a problem in Ghana, because the families want to hide it. Because they say it's stigmatization, that we don't want, the kid might not get somebody to get married to, or they don't want to expose the family that this is the degenerate that's in the family. Do you understand me? And these are the stuff too.
Do you think
yes,
they do? This is happening.
They do. Kofi, I said I know
that
people.
Culture have anything to do with it, or family values have anything.
That's what I'm saying, that because we are trying to hide, we've got a culture whereby we hide things. We are trying to clean things up, even though it is so nasty that we don't even actually address it. Because I know a little child that she was 4 years old, that she was being abused by the uncle. And the uncle was in his 30s.
Someone, because of the weekend, and I made a question with Mansani, you're calling down.
Yes.
But someone was saying, say, or did he say, Ghana, who number be Linda, we will come to you, but we just saying this. Only this Ghana, who number be everywhere be a man, drew a mobile no more. I have something to do with this.
No, but when you said that, sorry, my dear, but you know when you said that, the reason why it's not about the men having any medicine to sleep is the fact that they know they're not going to get punished. Because if it's the fact that they're not going to get penalized. Because if they arrest somebody for sleeping with their nephew or their niece or whoever it is, the person is going to pay and get away with it. The person is not going to be in this country, and even in the Western world. If somebody goes to jail for pedophilia, that person gets raped in jail. Because they feel, even though you're in there, they feel that you're going to get punished as well. Ghana, we don't have that. You see Uncle Sendo, come and let me give you sweetie. And then they sleep with their nieces.
Linda, do they know? Ghanaians, are they aware of this? This is happening within their families, in the community, schools, community leaders. Say will it happen?
I suppose from the way I look at it, you have to look at what does government say first before we then start looking at what are the people saying or responding to in relation to government. Because all laws, or most laws, come from what society accepts and what society doesn't accept or thinks is right or wrong. Yeah. So when you look at the Constitution, when you look at the Children's Act, when you look at the UN Charter, all of them talk about exploitation of children. All of them talk about abuse of children, all sorts of different things, right? But then the problem is that at the same time, you've also got to look at what society says against what the law tells them they should and shouldn't do. And Ghana is one of those countries where typically we have a lot of cultural practices, a lot of beliefs, whether they be religious beliefs, type of fetish type of, yes, indeed. Lots of other beliefs that clash with what the law tells you is the right or wrong thing to do. And that is a big problem to tackle. And we're not just talking about the rural areas. Of course, rural areas are one of the main problems when it comes to things like fetishes and the traditions. But even in our towns and cities, because all of the people who live in the rural areas come to the towns and cities. So it's the same mentality that then comes into the heart, if you like, of the country.
To chip in, Kula, I think poverty as well has given rise to some of these things happening. Not until we better the conditions of the people themselves, economically, health-wise, and their daily livings. Not until that improves. There are parents and there are adults who will encourage that. And poverty has been the number one bane in festering what we see in our society now. These things wouldn't happen if the home is adequately funded. This is wouldn't happen if the child doesn't have to go and sleep with the uncle for the uncle to give them something to bring home to cook. So it is grooming. It is poverty as well that has given rise.
They take the advantage of the poverty.
That's right, because all you can see is
but there's other factors as well.
Yeah, I think
so many factors.
I think I might have a contrary view that it's not poverty. I said it's the mindset of the men who are doing it, and also the lack of rigorousness of the law. Because if somebody knows that if I can get away with it by abusing a child, they will go on doing it. Even in this country, you go to rich family, they tend to abuse people as well. So it's not about a poverty per se, but it's about the mindset of the men that we are dealing with, and how the law can be so effective and efficient to deter them from doing it. Because so you cannot say, oh, but my fat apolano, my father no, oh, my police for me to my almost say no, my assembly basa. They will continue doing it. So I think that the law has to be rigorous. It should be effective and efficient. And then the men who are doing this should be actually even be given training as well, because in some within the perpetration in this,
most abuse, it take place ifie, ebisu was school, community leaders, any idea. Now, in such cases, what can be done? What are the triggers? A bit me, I help me control this. The children, because say fear or what those parents have to do to help their children to have that confidence. And a uncle be crying a yes, Adiana, obetimi akasa. So, school, my secondary school days, it was really terrible a lot of children are saying, say, "Omo you safe at school, omo you safe of here," because when they say this now, the parents no cry no, they don't listen. A lot of parents, omo children no, are very far. Oh, they don't have that kind of bond. Yeah, me bacha. Oh, Sheikh. Hello, Sheikh. Sheikh, can you hear us? Oh, yeah, where the Nyamias say you now. Oh, because it's
yes, I'm hearing you, but it's very faint.
Is it still faint? Me bacha oti kasano, oti ye kasano, Sheikh. Me bacha etie for Sheikh Ishaq Ibrahim Niyama, oye Islamic scholar, very well known in Ghana. Say oti ye kasano. But I think say I use WhatsApp a line. Oh, now yeah, the number be a good Sheikh. Now fresh a line so you know kasa. Why? The number is 0044 7513 688 333. Yeah. Sheikh, the number is 0044 7513 688 333. Maybe if we do the program this way with you, Sheikh, I think it will be very helpful. Why? Yes, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, mpacho one and ekasa. This abuse is happening in schools everywhere.
Abuse can happen anywhere. Even one of my cases where I have even in this country, the abuse happening at the toilet. The abuser went to abuse this child at the toilet. So it can happen anywhere, whether home, school, and everything. But the issue is how children will be confident enough to report it. Because we all cry now. Or ban or catch all my men say na papa ya mamia. My men close or the police for. And I say office or the police for crying.
So what could stop this abuse from happening from homes, schools, community leaders, akwala cry or kwa sorry. Obekono na afakusi. But here cries.
That
what will stop it? What will stop it?
Okay.
Money.
Yeah. So to stop it, I say school cry and I have to say some that can sexual education, yeah. And also be something maybe at school, we need Ghana school there, but I hope it's going on. I also want to make sure says will be you say will be feature 1 hour you say yeah. It's an abuse. Until somewhere there, more report to. So more education. More education.
Warning signs. What are the warning signs?
Okay, what I mean, remember. Say, ABR, when if you want to pick up.
Yeah. Good evening, Pacho. One friend, after friend.
Good evening, sir. This is Kitty Olsen. I'm speaking from London.
The voice is very low. Pacho, bet man can
say Kitty Olsen.
Hello?
It's
very low, producer. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Yosin. Cause why?
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, too.
I'm saying good evening to all the panelists, and Mr. Dunno is one of my bosses in the Progressive Quiz Party. Okay. What I'm saying is that nobody is saying, okay, the most important thing is that we are not teaching the children age 5, 6. That is where you go to train them. What are we doing? Age 5, when they start school.
You can't hear properly. The volume, I've got the full volume.
And know that it is an offense. But then, if you watch until 8, 9, 10, then we are wasting our time. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I think
yeah, thank you, Mr. Kitty Yosin. Call back again because.
Do you repeat?
No, call back again at some point. Why? Yes, there were. Why? Yes, there were. Thank you. Yeah, but you want the line so Mr. Sheikh.
Okay.
Yo, thank you. Mr. Sheikh Niam, are you there?
I will do. I will call back again.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ketiosin. Mr. Niam, are you there? Sheikh. Sorry, Sheikh Niam, are you there? Sheikh.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, Sheikh, we can get Sheikh now. Won't take me Kasano. Oh. Yeah, I think if you call the WhatsApper,
let me call him on WhatsApp.
Yes, I think it's better. Yeah. It's fine. Can you hear us now?
Hello.
Can you hear us now, Sheikh?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Sheikh. I think we have a caller on the line, but the caller, if you can call back, please. Yeah, because now we can't interact with that. Yeah. Yes, Sheikh. But you want my small introduction about yourself for us. Why? For the program. So I tell for who is on the line and in terms of your position and Sani Ashasi.
We can call you on WhatsApp. I think it's better.
Yes, please. Thank you. Sheikh.
Let me call you on WhatsApp.
Thank you. I think if you meet him from there for us, thank you. Now I'm calling from WhatsApp now. One and Mr. Nino.
Yeah, then I make sure say now besides say better to me implementing. Say I was say education is very important. From the JSS to SSS. Say Obi will say I also to me report to Kama teacher says over school. So fear so or what to one man. So mammy na anya home be I also to me Oko school then report to.
Okay, hold on, sorry. Yeah. Good evening. Good afternoon. Sheikh, is that you? Hello? Oh, we can't hear it.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, I think that good afternoon, sorry. Good evening, sorry. We know you better because I think that you are experiencing some technical problems. So, it's your turn, Ghana.
I don't want to continue.
Pardon? Oh!
Is it way that shit? But that's not contributing to your program.
Me pacho one friend na free.
Me pacho be free Ghana. Your friend Mr. Michael Yakosina.
Oh, okay. Yo, pacho we hin Kumasi Accra. Hin fa na free. Hello. Hello. We seems to be having technical problems.
Serious problems, yes.
Hello.
I can hear you.
You can. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, Busa, you make your contribution.
Yeah, we don't. What I wanted to say is about what you said about this rape and rape cases. Look, sexual harassment in Ghana. Actually, free Accra.
Yo, Koso.
I'm fighting with Mr. Panza. He said something that I think we should emphasize it on that one. I can hear you. Let's go on. Yeah.
Oh, Madam Call. Yeah, can story no? Koso, why?
Yeah, you see, the American said we have to get a stiff punishment for those who do in Ghana. Rape cases, you know, almost fucking serious. Obi rape Obi to police station. Police for a investigation. Obi assemblyman can even go and say, I'm taking the case out and I want to deal with the case. And both parties understand. You know what? This rape cases, you know, and it's serious. I say, I'm buying utterly generous. Look, if you can come to Ghana and ask how many people have they jailed because of rape. It will shock you the rape cases that you hear. What comes out of it it's nothing. So if the punishment will be stiff, I think it will make people, I mean, be afraid of certain things. I have a plenty case I can tell you where I was living first in the world.
Kabichre. Yes, now. I tell you for so much. Kabichre.
Yeah, and then call police station. The chief, the boy at the call police station. In fact, we were all rallied behind there. We went there now 3 days time, and then get on my friend. I said, "Go put him there back." You call police force to say, "Don't call what the first to say." But I say no. I send them my bed. So I saw cars no. So no, 50 million. That is 50 million. I said that's 5,000. And look at my here, yeah, about 5,000. 1,000 go that.
How old was the person?
Okay. Now Akolano, what do you bear saying? Akolano, do you bear saying?
Like 15, almost 16, 15.
15.
Frank interest in me to follow the case to police station. We were disappointed.
So
50 million. The woman come down, with that hospital. Say, the woman to the 50 million. The gentleman is working now. I couldn't get that the near for worry. The asked one as the obey of the worry. I could not problem. So the state punishment is something that they should emphasize on. What is the punishment? The punishment is there clear in our books. But the police and the CID will condemn.
So what you are trying to also say is because of loss of confidence in our police force, so people may not even go and report such cases.
I told you that the underlying factor in all this is poverty.
But if the children can have the even confidence to report, Ghana Hanu, Openia for report, but one report, Akola ọba crack of catching it is true, it is happening.
I say it is true and it's happening. Akola ko kachre ne mame, the parents say ya repuno or say it's the omu parents so ya akola bone. So the blame go back to the child rather than the parents, and then also the loss. Then also the loss of confidence with our police force.
I didn't the third place of our police station, about money. Come say, Master, baby, I didn't see her. Our confidence when we move about money. About money, which the next best is police station. Police station, all the call crowd, what's that? What's that?
So that means they don't have the right training then to deal with these cases.
We will talk about that, yes.
And the reason why I say that is the people that they get raped or they get abused, I think the law has to be put in a way, because I know in the Western world, somebody gets raped, somebody gets abused. After they've taken the person to court, they still let the person pay the person. They let the perpetrator pay the child that was abused. Okay. So at the end of the day, so there's punishment.
Well, in this country?
Yeah. They don't? Okay, it's not automatic.
No.
But in certain instances, they do.
I haven't heard of
There's two.
The law will deal with it.
Hold on, please. Hold on, yeah.
There's two ways in which it's dealt with. In terms of, you're right to some extent, but it's not as free-flowing as you think.
Depending on the damage, the mental...
No. Well, I mean, once the person is convicted, or either by guilty plea or being found guilty, once the person is convicted of rape, they'll go to prison for whatever
or sexual abuse.
Or sexual abuse. But asking the person to...
Okay. Hold on. Hold on for a few minutes, please.
I'll be brief. Yeah. But then, in terms of financial penalty to the perpetrator, you'll be shocked by the token figure that's given by a court, a criminal court. And when I say token, I actually mean token. So whereas in Ghana, £100 might seem a lot, in this country, £100 for a rape or sexual abuse is nothing. But that's the kind of level we're talking about. Unless you go to the Criminal Injuries Compensation Board and then ask them to compensate you for the crime that the person committed, or you take out a civil action against the person now for, I don't know, for abusing you, and therefore you're entitled to some sort of financial contribution.
Okay.
But I have to say that's not the best way of doing it. The best thing is just to simply go through the criminal courts and have the courts deal with it, and then hopefully then go through counselling, whatever, and get over what happened to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Kofi, I just wanted to explain
thank you. Thank you very much, Linda. You can't be kakra about the Paula you say or say when people goes to the police, the police intend no release it's any panokran or instead no they will go back, pay bribe to the police, pay bribe to the victim, you know, and as she say, you know, nipa the victim e bi kura na sika bi kura da enti yakoma no 5,000 Ghana, which is under £1,000, 800 pounds.
Don't forget, it's the victim's mother. Victims in parents, they took the money, not the victim. The victim herself. The victim herself. And that's the reason why I said that. Do you think if this mother has got funds, or this mother has got adequate funds at home, or they're not needy, they will take the money? Poverty is the underlying factor in all this. Why would you take money for different?
In cases like this, you know, which Lord, if you are a senior social worker, and you know that they have a child abuse police team, child abuse investigation team that deals with all matters regarding children. You see, the setup in Ghana, I think, say, is now we need a kind of a structure in place. Say cases like this, you know, every case where a child has been abused, it would have to go through the police and have that child needs to be medical, like especially for the strategy discussion, for this investigation. That child need to be medically examined. And then the police would have to be involved. Other agencies would have to be involved. So it's not only HEF, and then it's not only the police, then Akwalani school. So interagency work come in. So that kind of structure now, I say, Mamina, Afakolano, and in the free police station. We need to find a way that the system will work better for all of us.
Kofi, you see all that you've mentioned. Do you think they are not in place?
Exactly.
They are in Ghana. If every single one of them are in place, they do not work. People don't make the structures work, and not until we find a way of making sure that they work. These things will continue. All what you've mentioned, Kofi, they are all in place in Ghana.
No, but the interagency work is not working.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. That they're there.
It's there, but it's not working.
In theory, they're there, but they're not actually practicing it.
That's right.
Because in Ghana, I think the social work setup, they've taken the criminal aspect, like this sort of abuse, to the police. Well, last week, even here, the social services, when the child is abused, the police will deal with the criminal aspect.
The social aspect.
Right.
But unfortunately, in Ghana, the police system is not functioning effectively. And like the last caller evidencing, not until that is sorted out, we cannot get anywhere. Because, like you say, it's poverty. For instance, if the issue is poverty, and maybe the mother has taken the money. On what basis did we get to that point?
Yes.
Because the police had relaxed the system. That is why it went into the assemblyman. But if the police are straight, then the assemblyman has no way to come in to interfere with the investigation process. There's no way even that person will get a chance to say that I'm going to bribe my way through by paying the time. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that poverty is not a factor, but the main issue is how we can make sure that the structures that are in place are functioning effectively. Because if they are functioning, you can know, even here, if you abuse a child, you have millions, no matter what you are.
So long as there's evidence showing that you've done it. The thing is, so long as it's gone to the police, it's gone to the right departments, there's nothing anybody can say.
The system works.
That's pedophilia.
Frankly, the system is better. I don't know about the system works totally.
Where?
Because, for example, and this is not a child. I'm talking about the UK.
Oh, okay.
and this, although this is not a child, it's the most recent example I can think of. Is it Sarah Everett, the lady who was raped and killed by a police officer?
Oh yes.
But what has come out recently is that there may have been opportunities to stop him, to have disciplined him, perhaps put him in a position where abuse of that woman would not have happened.
Yes.
And that's because just the same week he had been caught twice exposing himself in a chicken shop or something like that, around the same area where he kidnapped and raped and killed this young lady. Yeah. So although here, having said that, what does work here, and there's a big question mark for Ghana, is things like, for example, forensics. Okay, so even if those things have happened, if a child goes to Ghana and says, I was raped by this person.
Yeah.
What system is set up in place in order to do a thorough examination of the child? An appropriate and thorough examination. What forensics, DNA, all of this sort of stuff. Those things are not set up in an efficient way as they are in the UK. So even though a child may go and say this, even here people are reluctant when it comes to things like that, because there's still a taboo. It's one of the worst crimes that can be committed.
So what I want to say is, therefore, there were a lot of pedophiles walk around in our country. Now, how do we identify pedophiles? Because they say, omunamo, I mean, for obi okra like 14, Papa Penimun drive a car, Otimi stop on a car, and fast alcohol. How do we deal with these cases? Because this has been going on from museum, and it's still happening.
Do you mean in terms of keeping a record?
Yes, and also, sorry, Enya call. Good evening, Pacha. One a friend, half a friend.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, Sheikh. Well done. After that, finally the problem is sorted.
It's not.
It's not.
Sheikh, Utiaka. And then you lie very power. Utiaka.
I'm saying Sheikh.
Oh, Mr. Monka.
We Pacha, Sheikh. Sheikh in here. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Pacha, what's here for Sheikh Nyama, or Islamic leader in Ghana, or science scholar, and why joining our program? So, Sheikh, sorry, say, technical issues near the and they see a new program, but as because of technical issues, you anyone and Shasia and now, I think that you remember why I introduce you on Kakra. Now we are near Busa say within the Muslim community, and then the sexual abuse, what is your own understanding of that area of work?
Within here, Sheikh Isaac Ibrahim Nyama. I'm a theologian, education. Also lectureship. I'm on retired. I'm now 65, going to 66. And then host and presenter of Islamic focus on Metro TV. And then additionally, of course, I'm a writer. Retire as of the month back. And the name here is the forward bishop and archbishop. Ghana.
Sheikh, ubet mama o voice na ko sro high kakra so ama yesre wa
me say sexual abuse and we do some water I walk and I guess I would
yes
okay you all want to say one says Ghana Mranka and Kasa. I will hop. And now, and Koran, ending and Kumchemi, let me do some sort of alcohol. Now, fortunately for Muslims, yes, that we will go a German crowd, we have to do the man. I won't want him or and I said it book for so not said women is young. And also I won't want him as the Islam would fear sexual abuse in any force. And in Yankopon, what can one say? Our brand is someone check my own free and your man. Name a professor. Nipana, where your bar, then not help for so. And one in a diet, your constant cashier. She has been to prison in our account. Now, what you said, immediately your friend Imam Al Ghazali was saying, other human beings, first as psychologists, one see your possessive instinct. They say, woman instinct, they are not one. Anytime you want to we have rights. Indeed, Sam Alami was saying the most potent drive in the human being is the sexual drive. Was it a German and only and get home and cut into Nigeria?
Shake. Now, okay, the okay. Child abuse in the Muslim community, no. Ufia, are they experiencing it there?
Sexual drive. A idea a hard it is sending a motion. A walk. I want you to idea. Seven, because the other two will be able to, you know. And there were 4 communities in the first in the hall. As I said,
First, who say first? No, you but they say the Aba. But you let me elaborate. You bet me can one seven kakra me ache.
At the end, I'm not bad say. What you say? And then, if you probably say, if you have to say him, he can liberate and a higher. But me as for suffering, I beg to differ. If you say, I dear a high reaction, a Aponoponia, a young Barney Bebel. And then, where I come soon, you know, I'm now, I did say, a Jamal.
Shake. Say, Eba and Coladiana, how is it for them to family to report it? Do they report it? Yeah, I'm going to report to my police in any authorities, no?
Oh, sir. So when you baseline survey on the subject, would you mean you are not prepared and cut? But the normal thing, Kakra minimum. The academic year, the Sadian. Bama, obey a bayansa. When you said, and you go on, what kind of feet? And you will put here. No shot, yes, a way of frame of fear. Not on mammy, no, say the apostle. No, mammy, who is the Koswa, who sat for a nap and I'm a car. The next point of call is a police station. If you don't think kind, every call can be any friend what you know, as those. I don't know what they call. Then from there to police station. Now, if you are, you have dockets, you have the couple. But the biggest problem you want, and if you are a gun of a they will say, now, more discussing rape. And when you front about cancer, poverty count. Poverty account. But another point is what? A high culture.
Talk about, yeah.
Culture, anything. What was that? Yes, it's here at the man for them. Yes, sent for them who have go through and camp or magnet. If you didn't have Parapara, what did you come? That is number one. Number two, who share a culture man? So, Obia Bonia and Benfosi, the 3 nurses. Yama and Mara, you know. It's something more than you know. There doesn't mean a sapra, a blue opera, a Nipana bonano. A video of Madame, no minute, oh, you money. What can I say? She's Nama. The biggest problem. I am telling 41. Nipana bonapra. No matter more to Mestra. No matter on Saturday, Papa. No my line. One brother Pacho. Yes, you said. And farmer society very different. You said the council one. One more when you will them. You said you want
now, Sheikh, when you best about back to you again. But you say in the Zongo Development Fund, you know, include welfare support for it doesn't include welfare support for children.
It's a comprehensive fund, though. It's a comprehensive fund. In fact, for me, as a Muslim scholar, the fee said that Zongo fund is one of the best opportunities for Zongo development because Minister or whatever, the friend me back. Now, in a Juma, or yeah, this is schools maybe. And the man, or maybe it's maybe. We are very strong to say, I'm yet to know. Say, take the next stage of your work on my scholarships. No, me at the other. Now, what the Libya.
And as a result, you know, do you think say child marriages and penifua waren Korani adieno ewo that community no? Because of fund, you know, does this fund cover this area and has this stopped? This one, I kind of minimize it and I say, is this something that is still going on?
Well, the fund is not cover one direction.
Fund
not cover. Okay, basically, therefore, are binding the fund. Direction is more of physical and educational development of the Muslim community. It has more to do with social, educational, and economic empowerment. Therefore, a back say, and for now, say, yes, for woman, I have not read any document.
Yeah.
No, what address? I've never read any document anyway. I'm not saying it's not there. I've not read any document.
Okay.
But yes, I'm not doing it because it's a fund. No crime, no woman to man. There were so many NGOs from Muslim communities. They've been addressing this problem. Me and Kasa, Unyaba, Yasmin, were president. Ashanti Regional Branch of Federation of Muslim Women Associations in Ghana.
Yes, Sheikh wife.
What power and Maya protection and woman to here. Indeed, other entities, our Muslim community, they are holding the fort in that area. Every Tushi and Kwada on survival and on development. And they, one year, and then a one of us if it be a woman through education. And the Zongo Development Fund, which are the key strategies, fund educational empowerment.
Yeah, thank you.
For example, a Paraka will put the P6.
Yalusu Sheikh. Yeah, Yalusu Sheikh. Yama, for some reason. Nkola school, Ghana secondary school, very one of the big things. Do you think, say, the abuse going on at schools, you know? As Nkola, a lot of them are saying, say, by research, you know, say, oh, omu feel crowd is safer than home. Okay. When parents are making choices for schools for their children, even Krayama offer, do you think, say, do they look at, is there a data that parents can look at people's behavior? You get that in the UK. The data in Ghana, do we have a data which I can say, oh, maybe you go school, in school, no, maybe in Colabone, say, behavior, say, development at school. As you say, until the data is there, say when it comes to behavior, school where number one. When you go to be and expel from the school, you'll be able to tell the number of children you've been expelled for a year or within 5 years and things like that. Does that become part of it?
Our system hasn't developed such traits in Ghana, in our schools. Because listen, a parent who is vying for a place for a ward at a school must be able to go onto the internet, search for the school, and look at the quality.
When you have a place, parents don't have a choice unless you go to private school. But for all the establishments, we offer from a.
You see, that is the problem. The school that you get is not your choice. It is not something that you have chosen. It is something that is heaped upon you. That listen, either you take it or your child sits at home. You have no choice in this matter, and that is the most frightening thing. How do you then go and research about the school, and then make an informed decision whether to send your work to the school or not?
So you think education department should add behavior aspect of students to say almost a year data?
Definitely.
This is the number of students almost pass a year. The number of behavior thing. What do you think?
I don't think. Sorry, it's just that you guys have spoken a lot.
Yeah.
Please, yes. Okay, now I believe that when you look at most schools, because everybody is trying to portray themselves as a good school, nobody will put a negative aspect of the school there. But are there? But
then you're giving for.
It is not there.
No. But here it does happen. Sometimes on the top schools. Even but what I'm saying is in the top schools in this country,
they shouldn't have the opportunity to do that.
Yes.
The Minister of Education should do that.
But what I'm saying is, even here, there are schools that sometimes there are kids that get bullied. But when you're going to go and look for these schools, they don't put that there because they're trying to promote the schools. So in Ghana, if we had a body,
I think the behavior aspect is there.
Because but they will put it there, but it's not one of those things that when they're promoting. Because I remember when my kids were going to school, when you go, they're showing the glossy part of the school that, oh, we did this, we got 5 A's, we got that. It's only when you get there and your kids are there that you actually realize the data of what is going on. What I'm saying is, in Ghana, what are you talking? Are you talking about sexual abuse? What are you talking about? So if they're not going to put sexual abuse that all the teachers are sexually abusing the kids, so bring your kids there. Or don't you understand what I'm saying? Or they're not going to sit there and say that 10 years ago we had 5 pedophiles, but now they're gone. The fact that they've actually put it there means that you're not going to choose that school. So it's the fact that if we get a body whereby it's independent of all these schools. You know, like sometimes you get all these people that are independent of all these schools, then you can go there and check that in Ghana.
Okay, talk about sexual abuse.
Yes.
Because time in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, sexual abuse as well.
Pedophilia, pedophiles, Ghana. Any pedophiles, Ghana.
Yes.
Now, how do we check them? Do we have
a data
identify pedophiles?
Like register.
Obi American or when they're going to Ghana, they don't check.
Yes.
American check us.
Yes,
they check us.
Even if you got criminal record.
Criminal record.
That's it.
But does that apply? Say yes, you ever say because a number of cases are happening with foreigners with children.
Yes.
So how do we kind of find a way to check these people?
No, but can I just say something? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Share of information. Yes. Exactly. We don't even have to go that far. I mean, if any of us who have gone to Ghana using a British passport rather than a Ghanaian passport, right? Remember the form that you fill in?
Yeah.
The online form and everything. Does it ask you if you've got any criminal convictions?
No.
So you don't have to go far to see the evidence.
Yes.
Any of us could. I'm sure none of us are.
Yes.
But not any of us could have a dodgy pass.
Yes.
And there's no way that anyone in Ghana will know that when we're getting on the plane coming to Ghana.
Exactly.
That's directly the government's responsibility.
That
That can't be shifted to anybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah? The government must put checks in place.
Yes.
Like most other Western countries, if we want to see an improvement.
Yes.
Because what we're trying to do is improve the life of Ghanaians
Exactly.
and Ghana.
Yes.
And the way you do that is to protect your next generation.
100%.
To do the best that you can to ensure their safety. And of course, when it comes to crimes, the people who suffer the most directly are children. Because children are the ones who are less likely.
They're vulnerable,
Exactly, to explain or to explain properly what's happened to them. So if a small child says, oh, I was raped by someone, first thing you say, what do you mean?
Exactly.
The first instinct is not to believe. You wouldn't say, who is it, what happened, and immediately go to the person. You'll check with the child, well, maybe he's making it up. Maybe he was watching TV and he saw something now is in his head.
Or they'll tell the kid to shut up. Oh, what do you know?
Or we'll just deny it, whatever it is. So we need to find a way to ensure that the authorities are kept abreast of the people coming in and out of their country.
Precisely.
Remember, I told you earlier, there was an example of a British Airways pilot who went to, I think it was either Kenya, Uganda, one of those countries, right? And he was doing charity work. You know when you're in the plane and they ask you for your small change to put it in the envelope? So British Airways have that scheme, right? And all their pilots and staff go, yes, he was abusing the children as he pleased. Because, of course, whichever country it was he was going to, does not have the right checks in place to ensure.
I don't know whether if not to cut. You know what he said? It reminded me of I don't know whether you guys saw it on Facebook. There was a time that there was this white guy that was on the beach with a young child and was fondling the. I don't know whether you guys saw it. And there is no way that if it had happened here, that person wouldn't be in jail. And this guy was blatantly.
But we've got to. You see, there's no. Don't get me wrong. There's no perfect system. It's happening in America. Okay. You know these children who are being detained because their parents have crossed the border illegally from Mexico or whatever. And they put these children in these cages in Texas, right?
Yes.
And those children, there are many reports of abuse. Because the thing is, when most of us heard that this was happening in terms of the children being kept separate from their parents, first you think, what's going to happen to these kids? We're not even talking about mental health. We start thinking as soon as people see this vulnerable group of people, those who are inclined to do those things will home in on these children.
100%.
It's the same thing with priests. From the capital,
yeah.
Same with priests in the capital or any other sphere. Where there is a weakness, those that are inclined to do that will always look for ways. So you need to tighten your laws to ensure that they at least know what the punishment
now, who is this? 21st century, hold on. 21st century, now, Ubi Tenaplema or Bagana Street. And that's also ECOWAS system. Or see what ECOWAS or FAI, Nigeria, other countries going to Ghana. No checks has been done. These people are coming in. And they come in and settle it. Now, no checks have been done on them. Is there, what is happening here?
Okay, I think...
are we living dangerously?
Yes.
Of course,
dangerously. And then like Barrister Linda said, nothing is perfect. But at least we can better it.
Yes.
If anybody is coming is going to Ghana, we have our embassies.
Yes.
We have our
High
commissions. This is the easiest way of checking people who are going to Ghana. I mean, I don't know if the High Commission can maybe somebody can phone.
Even on the form.
Yeah.
Put it there.
But I'm sure when I was going to Ghana,
no,
my
Papa Nkama has come back. He's back now, and I believe he's also watching it now.
Yeah, so. I remember when I was going to Ghana with my British passport.
Yes.
I was asked if I have a criminal record on the form. So I think they do check. But
is that you call that a check?
I don't believe
people
I've never seen it before. I've never seen it.
Is that very recent?
The problem right now.
If you are,
it's on the form to say you have a criminal, but the person might not be honest. And they will take that. But I think that a quick check will help address it.
You know what?
And even that the fee, this could be also funds coming in for the government. You know, an agency can take it, do it, quick check for them. Within the day, boom, it's done. Then I think because the children welfare, their safety is paramount. You know something. What happened? Recently, I had a case in Ghana where this man went there with a young person, and then hold on, please, and to the hotel, and then they said to him, "Who is that related to you?" The man could not respond properly. And if it's not the intervention of the hotel staffer, this man would have abused that little boy there. Sorry, who is calling and where are you calling from, please? One friend, sorry. The voice in here is very low.
Hello?
We have the maximum voice here. Adam, we can't hear.
Yeah, the person commenting about program.
Ubetuma kasake say, am I?
I think there's a lot of technical problem from there.
Hello. No, is the phone next to like a bell? Phone bell.
Okay,
a bell.
It can't be any closer, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. What's your money called? You man call it. That's it.
Yeah, tell it you call Ghana. I did here. I cost one check. If they paying for Ghana, almost any more and yet bar and then the on found because remember our example near they would say about or sorry and ma and I know some storm and Strakia for that time the Bacana was what do you call it? Beautiful and something to do with child abuse or something. So you really yeah, but I'll be there one else. I have to tell you if the teacher need would try it, I'm a break and that time was not just in this one. What you want because when you would paying for and as well we have my sending a program here you also Ghana. I send the video not or line back by video to the panel. Then the panel would then decide paying for needs to be held responsible. Because Ghana, we know I am marking a friend sex offender. We live will be a Ghana individual. See, I'm marking a sex offender. And if you're marking a sex offender, a big sex offender, I say, you don't like it. If you come out with sex offender, you're obeyed. Obeying us every day on me. If you have my near father, oh, we have and I'm Mr. One when and I'm near Petit Chaussee.
That's it.
Parents also get too near educate you. The parents need to be educated because most of the problems are ignorance. Because the parents, almost the 77, the backward one thing you offer can you and then my money and work a crash and some. The parents will push their girls to go out and do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, why are you there? Thank you very much. Or say, nipa ne bafia or uska or the manner, like I say, well, also release Apolana man. You know, young pedophilia at the end of your canon in terms of pedophiles. Not one and
your high commissions, your embassies. It is so be a back call mining one. That's the easiest way a bit much at home. Eco was very difficult because say a call a year.
But it's becoming a growing problem now. Missing children.
Can I just read something? I just looked at the Ghana High Commission's website, okay, just to see because of the query about whether you have to declare criminal convictions. I can't find anything that
will make it very difficult.
Yeah. So I can't find anything necessarily on that in terms of answering the question, but I'm quite sure that you don't have to. But in any event, it talks about the prohibited immigrants, so people who are not allowed into Ghana. Yeah, so automatically. And I frankly have to say this is slightly bizarre. The categories are a person of unsound mind. Okay, so they're worried about people who
got mental health problems. Okay.
A person declared by medical personnel as medically unsound.
Isn't it the same thing?
maybe they're really different. Yeah, a person considered to be a security risk. Security risk. Not. So to me, security means terrorism.
Exactly. 100%.
But maybe someone should clarify that from the Ghana authorities. Or a person against whom there is a deportation order in force. A person who's been sentenced in a foreign country for extradition under the Extradition Act. So there's nothing in the prohibited categories that talk, for example, somebody who's been convicted of murder, for example, or manslaughter, or anything of that, which you would think automatically that person should not be allowed to
yes.
Do we hear stories?
And the thing is, I find it quite fascinating. They're talking about people that they got mental health in comparison to people that actually have criminal records. So that means we have a problem.
So in that case, Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Which means that they have to
Rewrite
the form immediately.
I think that the Ghana Commission, they also watch our program, and I believe that the authorities are watching it, and definitely they will take a leave from it. Because what is happening is not only from UK, around now we are talking about global.
Exactly.
How many embassies do we have?
Yes.
How many countries we have around the world? People have to take visas to go to Ghana.
Exactly.
And then the people going to Ghana, in our country, these people are not criminally checked.
Yes.
The problem is you are having dangerous people with us in our midst that we don't know. I hear stories. We hear a lot of stories. But maybe it make me shame.
It might feel cringe.
The problem has been compounded by the new laws, the GDPR laws.
Yes.
I would have loved every single person going to Ghana, not with my name, but sorry to use a white man going to Ghana, to be checked on a database. But now
they are not just
every single person.
Every single person. But now the current GDPR laws doesn't make it conducive for the embassies to go and then.
No. All you need to do is that when somebody's applying for a visa or whatever, they have to consent. So consent that you can check my criminal record. And if you don't consent, you don't get your visa. And
then you have to put there that if you give false information, you will get penalized.
Yeah.
Financially.
But if
so the GDPR, in my view, doesn't have anything to do with that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. But, okay, you explain why you think GDPR is relevant.
Because the thing is, somebody submits his application for Ghana. I said, look, we
say a tier for okay.
So GDPR.
Who call Ghana?
Yes.
Yes. Or person call Ghana. Now there is a need. Hold on. There is a need. Say check. At the moment, no checks is done around anywhere.
There's no law or there's
we have a number of embassies across the world.
Yeah.
Now people know. So nipa no pedophilia or convicted criminal. So we be krana. These people, because any system
an abuser, yes.
These people are within our midst.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, it's
not even in our midst, but they are free to go in and out of the country.
Linda, how do you check their records easily?
Yeah, when they fill in the form. You're not going to check the records of every person living in the UK.
But laws and institutions are linked in this country.
I'm telling you. If you apply for
a visa
to go to a visa to go to America, I'm telling you,
the same thing.
It's checked immediately, and if you have a criminal record, you're not going there.
You are not going.
Full stop. Yeah.
Even when people say it's not there, the moment they put your name in, because we've got the systems here,
now
you can work with agencies.
The death that is happening to children, all these things practice happen. A number of foreigners have been caught within it as well. So now, is this something? How do we manage it? The only way we can control it is say, check
that's it.
I believe so. Who a criminal record, and then if you are here. Who call America? You will be definitely.
You think about the UK government when somebody's coming to the UK, right? And they're filling in a form, a visa application form, even just a piddly visitor visa, right? They have to fill in a form, and on that form, it asks, "Do you have criminal?" It even talks about terrorism, and you can say yes or no as you please.
Yes,
but at your own peril. Yeah, because that doesn't mean that because you said I don't have any criminal convictions, they don't check.
Exactly.
I'd be shocked if they didn't. They don't
ask.
Check.
Yes. They'll ask whether you've got any convictions, and unspent. The funny thing, they'll ask you, have you got any unspent convictions or anything? Yeah, they do.
In the 21st century, I think that we have reached a stage. We are doing programs like this to educate the community. Now, within this program, we have identified that this is an area of need. For us, it's higher. It's urgent for us as a country.
It's the word urgent that you have to put there. It's not a need. It's an urgent.
Okay. Then there is also issue about ECOWAS, which is becoming problem, which I think that we need to look at it. Because now, look at the Takoradi girls. In the end, nothing came out of it.
Yes.
A lot is happening. All because people who are coming to us, or say or to one of bus free another country so oba Ghana no team see no aba but ye ko was no oba no aba hardin sa no hardin. I recently heard a case, you know, when I was going to play football, and that shocked me. What they are saying is that I won't mention the country name, but those people from that country, they were wearing police clothes at the borders, trying to take money from people, controlling in our own country, wearing our own
borders.
Hey, I do time. If we don't protect our children, you know, what will be their future? But only that will come be your hand.
How do you protect?
Yeah, I'm just. I've got somebody who just messaged me to ask me to read that again. I think people are surprised by the lack of checks that are carried out when you say you're going to Ghana. And as everyone has said, it's not just here, because the Ghana High Commission in the UK, you'd have the same replicated throughout the world. So the consistency is there in terms of they all have the same rules, but the shocking thing is that the rule is so lax. So in terms of, I'll read it again, the prohibited immigrants, right? The undermentioned categories are prohibited immigrants. A person of unsound mind. A person declared by medical personnel as medically unsound. Yeah, so I guess in one case it's where they just automatically are, and the other is where someone declares that they are. Then a person considered to be a security risk, and as we said before, we were thinking, well, that must be things like terrorism. A person against whom there is a deportation order in force, or a person who's been sentenced in a foreign country for extradition under the Extradition Act. Yeah.
So somebody that's committed a crime in the country.
There's nothing about somebody who's committed a crime, someone's committed a serious crime,
somebody that's a criminal.
Or somebody who's been convicted of murder or manslaughter.
Precisely.
Nothing like that.
Do you think that it's not resist Kakrama government? Because this will be area of can be used for other things. But they
can be used for the same thing to prevent and get a system in place to protect.
Linda
then Kofi have to do that.
Yeah, Kofi.
That's going to be challenging. Okay, hang on a second. That means I have to go back. Okay, prohibited immigrants, right? So those who are prohibited immigrants in Ghana.
Okay, so Barisalinda can say woman to me Ghana. Some profile you have a woman abandoned chess or woman to me
prohibited because of conditions.
It's not going to be allowed to come into the country.
So first one, a person of unsound mind.
So I said you will be an argument here, not going to canoe. I have a canopy, no, will be cow sick. About mine.
A person declared as medically unsound by a medical personnel.
He said, "Yeah, doctor, we are castle acquiring argument yet. Into my mom calling chain. Deciding person, we cross about mine.
A person considered to be a security risk.
So be a all bow by now, one hour will be two of mine ago. And that's on this soldier for near police for by your back home. No, all my high citizens.
A person against whom there is a deportation order in force.
Or be I can't say all through a man won't call. And I saw baby, yes, more to me, my home, and you can saw Baho.
A person who's been sentenced in a foreign country for extradition.
Obi I can't say, I was here then back. If it's a deep one, you were a crow for force. And here for us, I a person chest, San Crow for way no. It won't be said, ya can't say, woman to me, my name, Obi, what could deep bonnet? I call ya Colabi Passa, or no pass of the Onisubi. And it just a woman would deep bonnet or more young Cola Passa in Nand, and I just me ball mine. And Tiano Nontinia can say, High Commission, I was able to change him format, and I would decide the way I can't be. I will be out with deep bonnet and want me more mine.
At least ask the question.
High Commission beer around the world.
Well, yes.
So we are talking about not only in the UK here or America, but Ghana High Commission be around the world, you know. Should take note, and I think the government should take note and lead on this. That Ghanaians say, you know, we through this program, we have identified a bitimi abwa Ghana. Ama yes or no, yetimi protect young mano. Ghana.
I'm surprised they've not done this because you're making it sound so cavalier. No, is it? I'm surprised that with everything that's going on in the world, that is not in it. Even when you're filling an application to get a job, they ask you for your criminal record. So seriously.
Yeah.
Oversight.
No, can be an oversight.
It's not an oversight. I think maybe the makers of this form never reflected that there are cases coming.
What can we do? I also oversight.
That's a good point.
But this is why we do programs like this, also to help.
And
we are also, please say, we have all these senior authorities who watch Omega Live TV, Amansan TV, and almost no wait be free her. Linda, I think, will be able to take a government appointment and work very effectively. Oh, but the same thing to you, Beatrice, Mr. Nunu, Mr. Kwansa. We are all professionals and we feel that your contribution, this is why we're doing programs like this, to make a difference.
To bring awareness.
And awareness for them. Now, you're talking about a last area, which is teenage pregnancy, which is becoming rampant. And I say, Akola cry, you say, oh, Akola, where you are on the media. No, see Nipa crossing India. Oh, Ube who no be a 40-year-old man, but decided that child he has to marry the child, or his children have to marry that child. And Ube who say ampa kolai na manada kwa kwanyem. And now Ube wa wedi 13 or school wanyem. Onyema school wono e mani free school because they say it's not in the best interest of other children. Which also is an abuse itself for that child. Did that child not face one being abused, as a teenager, and then the school also neglect the child to say that some of them, their parents also neglect them, and they end up in the street. Where do we go from here? Parents are yes, sir. I'm not sure who wants to start.
Yes, the thing is there is the likelihood of being vilified if you talk about traditions. Most of these things borders on tradition.
And culture.
And culture. There are. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm not saying that it is something that needs to be gotten rid of. But the deeper thing that where young girls as young as 13, 14 shows their breast in public. This by the dance tradition. Adult tradition.
They don't wear
the crobbles.
The crobbles. They don't wear anything. The young as 14,
within what age group?
Within 13, 14.
They do that to walk around.
It is something that they do for just to show that you are mature, you are ready.
I think
this is some of the things that give rise to some of these early pregnancies and because
hold up.
My question is
I'm surprised. No, so a child of 13-year-old will bring out their breast to show that they can't see through the glass.
No, it's a rite of passage.
It's a culture.
Let me explain.
It's a cultural.
It's a rite of passage.
Cultural thing.
Yes,
but it should be stopped. We are in the 21st century.
Yes.
Some of the cultural this is why we are doing programs like this. Some of the cultural things need to revisit it. To say, we are moving forward from century things to a new area whereby things are so open now. The education has gone up. Is there something about our tradition that needs to take? Today, you talk about law, then you talk about tradition and culture. Law, tradition and culture. Is it becoming a crash with this thing that you are talking about in our country?
The thing is that your identity sometimes is linked to the sort of culture and tradition that takes place in your area. And once you stop that, you lose your identity.
But Akola Eko, yes, we are talking about teenage pregnancy, but you then showing say 13-year-old or 14-year-old, they are made to show themselves in the form of a naked. Or naked.
Yes. It is not in any form. It is naked. I
think we are missing a point here.
What's the point, my dear?
Because
I'm sorry, but
I was explaining. You see, we have the rite of passage. Okay, so when depending on the cultural where you come from in Ghana, when you get to a certain age. You have to go through that passage.
The ritual, yes.
To evidence that you are entering into
adolescence.
And you can't see the breast through the clothes.
Within this.
No, hold on.
Within this, are there being abused?
No, there's no abuse. let me tell you.
But abuse would come.
No, hold on. They are not absolutely naked, but the breast is shown.
Yes.
And a man wouldn't get an erection when he sees a breast.
You shouldn't have to erect. That is not the. It's temptation. They say temptations are not invitations.
I'm sorry, but
look at
this is so ridiculous.
Look at this adage. Temptations are not invitations.
Hold on, Lordship.
No.
Answer the question.
No, please, please do.
Okay,
Yes.
what is the question is saying?
My question is, you're telling me that when that girl exposes her breast, yes, the man is not going to get an erection, or you're saying there's not an invitation. The funny thing is, even when men see women in clothes and they've even got bumps and stuff, they get excited. So now you're telling me there is not an invitation.
So are you okay to counter argument?
That's me. I'm not arguing. I'm asking you a question. Yes.
So looking at the.
Oh no! Please don't ask me a question. You answer what I just.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, but
it's not. It's a tradition that one that they have to go through. Okay.
So you're telling me if you see a 13-year-old and her breast is hanging out there, you're not going to feel no way.
Why should we do that? That is
wow.
That's not the purpose of you. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Temptations are not invitations. The mere fact that
what needs to happen.
Yes, the culture.
It doesn't mean that you should go and then.
What happens is that some of the
Do you know the erection is involuntary?
Let me tell you.
So when you say you should,
so
kind of like you have to arrange it.
If you see in our part of the world with women in bikinis and all that, that don't mean that you have to erect.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
People still do.
What?
People still do. Is it you have to go erect? It is an involuntary stuff that when you see a woman, wearing a certain stuff, the way that your body reacts and your brain reacts to it. But what I'm saying is because he's talking about pedophilia, and now you're saying that we've got a culture that does this, and that doesn't mean it's an invitation.
That is a number of areas that our welfare agencies have to visit. But the thing is that it's like a lay-back approach. I think now they need to be very proactive
100%
in terms of dealing with things. Because also some of our cultures, now is becoming in conflict with the law. And it's also becoming in conflict. Our tradition and culture is becoming in conflict with the law and 21st century. The way we do things in terms of human rights.
Yes.
So we cannot still maintain some of the cultures. Certain things will change. So some of the things that maybe I say changing is say
that's it.
Then you take that way.
See, that's why we have to be mindful. For instance, there are certain cultures in the United Kingdom which we will see it's something terribly wrong.
Which is like what?
For instance, here we do accept same-sex marriage. Okay? In Ghana, it's terribly wrong to them.
But they are of age of consent. Is it because now we're talking about children? Is it when you talk about same-sex marriage, it is of age of consent?
Let us not change it. Let's concentrate on teenage pregnancy.
What I'm trying to explain is that cultures they do differ in every region, but your perception of a particular culture will be different from another person.
Yes, but in this case,
that is why we have to be careful not to criticize.
No, we are not criticizing. The thing is,
what
are the things that could cause problems
in
our country, in Ghana, where the law says one thing, societal or cultural or
says
whatever,
something else,
says something different, and how those two clash, and how can we improve it to stop things like
it's a clash. It's going to be a clash of cultures because the thing is, this is a 1,000-year-old culture that people want to hold on to because that is their identity. They lose that and they lose their identity. The Kobos, listen, you tell them to stop this.
Okay,
you have degraded and
because of time, No, say when teenagers get pregnant out of wedlock, is there a system of reporting them to social welfare? The police to make sure that Sakole were 13-year-old one 14-year-old one.
That's
I met one Ghanaian guy, and although this was an adult, he was telling me the people that he has impregnated. He was telling me Ghana. This is horrible.
Yes.
He went on holiday and he did this there. People are doing these things pregnant, doing this
thing to young people girls,
and then running. But although this man's case was adult, but I'm just saying that if people can have that mentality and be doing this, then it's a concern.
Yes.
We need to be very, very careful. Someone is calling about the way we treat this teenage
pregnancies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Pachawan Efre.
Pajai, you're from a Jane up here.
Yo, Bacho, where you, Manenko?
What you say?
Mr. Manenko, who your contribution and answer this question?
A contribution, but a question.
Okay, yo, Manenko, why? Go ahead. Jay, who wait my lower phone on our own casa? Aye, yeah, Yatunka. Manunko, go ahead. O background, there is noise at our background, no. Aha, Manunko.
I'm a bit confused about the way the. Contribution, but a question.
Or radio, or whatever she's listening to. There's a feedback.
I'm a bit confused about the way the conversation is going. Because we're talking about traditional culture that we have in our society in Ghana.
Back. So maybe either your reception is echoing. So who jai program itie na kasa who we are now kwatie program no why eti kasa now talk Afi, go ahead, thank you. Jane,
she's gone.
I think this person's gone.
Okay, all right.
Jay, look at my friend back. Why? Yeah, thank you. One and
I think I was saying is that culture, no, at times, obi or honor can't be our culture. Until what you see, you might think that this is a wrong culture, might be a perfect culture to another person. So in relation to the depot where the
phone is ringing back. Okay, hold on. Jane is the lady is calling back. Hey, phone is. Hello. Yeah, Madam Kawai. Where do you one Alfred? Go on.
So thank you. So my query is, we're talking about teenage pregnancy, but somehow we're also talking about puberty and traditional cultural activities that are done as a child reaches puberty. I'm confused as to how it is that somehow we seem to be putting the blame on the cultural practices. Surely the issue is with the men, the perpetrators who are doing these things. If there's a woman walking down the street in a miniskirt, surely there isn't an issue with the fact that she's walking down the street in a miniskirt. She's not inviting abuse. Surely if somebody's wearing a bikini and they're walking down the street, they're not inviting abuse. So how is it that we're suddenly saying that because of these traditional practices, that seems to be where the focus is, rather than on these people who are perpetrators?
Thank you. I think that's a very good point, no, making. But stay on the line. Of course.
Yeah, I think. Thank you for your contribution, and that's why I was trying to explain that we shouldn't criticize culture for the purpose of teenage pregnancy or people abusing young people, because by having depot as a culture for the as a rite of passage or going into adolescence or puberty, it doesn't mean that the person who sees this sort of breast being exposed, that person, it is an invitation. It's not. It's something they need to go through to ensure that they are nearing maturity. So the issue basically in relation to teenage pregnancy in Ghana is maybe about more of training or education about how they need for them to use contraceptive, because if a person,
but a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old what do we do here, Mr. Nunu? You are 14-year-old, 13-year-old. You know, secondary school age.
Yes.
You know, getting pregnant. Now it's becoming rampant in Ghana, and some blame the double. Almost say double. Ankolanico school area, and double tracking. Until we blame that. Say we be call ne on kwa no abetene. Now then another bunch call almost on kwa no abetene. Some blame that, but that is not the case.
Yes.
The case is that these men are out there, like Jane is saying, you know, and that is an area we need to look for. Now the question is this: 13-year-old, 14-year-old getting pregnant.
Yes.
Do social welfare do anything? The police, other agencies?
We don't have the structures in Ghana, even though the social welfare is there. We don't have the structures in place that are working effectively. And to the question that what's her name, Jane said, the thing is, regardless of culture or no culture, my thing is, if we are going to, we're not saying that the child or the culture, we may have believed that the culture at this present stage where we are now is not conducive. Because when you're talking about somebody wearing a bikini or all this stuff, Ghana, we don't have the structures in place that protect the children. Because when you look at 9-year-olds being married off in certain cultures, or certain children are groomed to be, if there were policies or there were laws in place that protected these children, then what you're saying would be valid. With me, I'm not blaming the victim. All I'm saying is the structures in Ghana, because they don't work, we're not supposed to put it out there for the kids to become victims.
If I can chip in quickly, what I think is happening in Ghana?
One is saying she's waiting for you to let her.
Right. Yes. What I see is the erosion of morals in our society. You listening? What I believe is happening now in Ghana.
Yes.
The erosion of morals
have declined
in our society is what is causing some of these things. Don't forget. You mentioned 13-year-olds or 40 who are getting pregnant. They are not being raped to get pregnant.
Yes.
They consent.
They've been groomed.
They are
the same way. As long as
that's right.
It's against the law.
Against the law. But the thing is, what is the 13-year-old, 40-year-old visiting a man for?
100%.
Don't blame the children.
I know the adults are to blame, but what I'm saying is, if the morals in our society
declined so badly.
I think declined so badly, and I think I know men should think better. The adults should think better, like fathers and mothers, like adults. But when an adult entices a child, a 13, 14-year-old,
because they groom them. That's what they do. They
use
money.
And do you know why? It is the erosion of morals in our society that is causing this.
We will let you have the final say. Joyce, are you there?
No, she's not.
She's not there. Okay.
Let me quickly chip in. I think, Mr. Nunu, I think at times you kind of miss the point a bit. Even here, I mean, on my caseload, I have 2 cases, 15-year-olds who are pregnant, and they've been impregnated by 15-year-old boys.
Yes.
So the decline in morality is all over the world.
Yes.
Yes.
Ghana is worse, but remember, the reason why I say that was sorry, Kofi. Do you know one thing you have to understand is Ghana, we had morals in the point that even when you wore a short dress, you could be chastised. Now that is not there.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
To some extent, I do.
You need more time. To bring your final analysis, 1 minute each, then we close. Okay. So, overall, and then we continue next week. But what is your final say on everything?
Okay, my final say is
in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, yes.
Yes.
First, the local embassies and then the high commissions, they have to change that form.
Yes.
So it's very important.
Very important.
2, there should be a drastic education for sexual abuse in schools, and then within the communities among the parents, that if a child is abused, please report it to the police. And then there should be an effective and efficient system within the police sector to make sure that the culprits are held accountable in prison and punished.
Thank you.
That it will deter them from doing
Thank you, Mr. Nunu.
Yes, what I believe should be in place is there must be a very active policies that will deal with the structures that are supposed to take care of these things. The structures are there, but they don't work. Either when I say we, I'm including the Ghanaians themselves, they don't make the structure work, or somebody has got to revisit the structures and see how best we can make it more workable for the.
Okay.
Thank you.
1 minute. There should be accountability. The forms have to be revamped, and criminal records have to be
criminal. What forms?
I'm talking about the High Commission forms. They have to be revamped. They have to go back to put the criminal aspect on it to make sure that those checks are done. Okay. Make sure that the children are protected. It's just that we don't have the time. So,
thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get the chance to speak on the teenage pregnancy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think I'm going to use my 1 minute just for that. Now, don't forget, teenage pregnancy is either as a result of to children, or child and adult. But because of the topic we're talking about, we're assuming it's child and adult, right? And we have to look at tradition. A lot of the traditions, the cultures, what everybody's been saying. We've got to look at the law teaching people that those traditional practices, some of them need to be revised, need to be updated, because everything changes as society moves on and we become more alive and aware to the things that are right and wrong, or what was acceptable last year is not acceptable this year. There are all sorts of laws. I won't mention them because I'm conscious that there may be young people watching. And there's certain laws in this country that have just come into force over something that was not a crime a few years ago. We're going to talk about that amongst ourselves later. So we just need to understand that the law needs to be in place to educate and help us so that Ghanaians will obey and do the right thing.
Thank you. There will be next week. You better also Omega Live TV and Amansan TV Ghana. Now next week you better also about sexual exploitation because very wide and we couldn't finish. But overall, no, traditional practice an issue. Culture has become an issue, and the laws have become an issue. And the Ghana Police Service, depending on you. Without you, we are nothing. Working together, money social welfare, making a difference for the vulnerable children in our country. Thank you, everyone, and good night. Thank you.